Right now, somewhere in the world, the exact same bar of silver is being sold for two completely different prices, and almost nobody outside the trading floors knows why. If you are interested in money, finance, or changing your financial future, like this video, and subscribe right now, because what you're about to learn can change the way you see money forever. Imagine you walk into two different shops to buy the exact same phone. Same brand, same model, same color, same box. But one shop sells it for 40,000 rupees, and the shop right next to it sells it for 56,000 rupees. You would think something is broken. You would think someone is lying. You would think there's a scam happening right in front of your eyes. That is exactly what is happening right now in the silver market, except it's not phones, it's silver, and it's not two small shops. It's two of the biggest financial exchanges on planet Earth. One is called COMEX, sitting in New York, America. The other is called the Shanghai Gold Exchange, sitting in China. And right now, these two giants are quoting prices for silver that don't match. Not by a little, by a shocking, almost unbelievable amount. On COMEX, silver has been trading somewhere around $78 an ounce. But on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, that same ounce of silver has been trading near $111. Stop for a second and really feel that gap. That's not a 5% difference. That's not even a 10% difference. That is closer to a 40% gap between two markets that are supposedly pricing the same exact metal. And here's the part that should genuinely worry you. This kind of gap is not supposed to exist. In a normal, healthy market, if one place is selling something cheaper, smart traders rush in, buy it cheap, ship it to the expensive place, and sell it for profit. That's called arbitrage, and it's one of the oldest tricks in finance. It's the reason prices around the world usually stay close to each other. But right now, that trick isn't working. And when the oldest trick in the book stops working, that's not a small glitch. That's a warning sign. Invest. I'll explain exactly why that trick is broken in a moment. But first, I want you to meet someone like Hamza. Hamza is 26 years old, works a regular salaried job, and over the last year he started putting small amounts of his savings into silver because he kept hearing it was the next big thing. He doesn't follow financial news every day. He just checks the silver price once in a while on an app, sees it's going up, and feels good about his decision. But what Hamza doesn't realize is that the number he's looking at, that COMEX price, might not even be telling him the real story anymore. And that's the uncomfortable truth millions of regular investors like Hamza are about to discover the hard way. Here's the truth that most people never stop to think about. The price you see on your trading app is not the price of silver. It's just one version of the price coming from one exchange, shaped by whatever is happening on that exchange specifically. COMEX is mostly what's called a paper market. That means most of the silver traded there never actually changes hands as real metal. In fact, fewer than 1% of silver futures contracts on COMEX actually end in someone receiving real physical silver. The rest is just contracts being bought, sold, and rolled over again and again. Numbers on a screen, promises on paper, bets between traders who never intend to touch a single bar of silver. Shanghai is built completely differently. When someone buys silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, it is a physical delivery market. They actually receive real metal. So one market is mostly imagination and paper promises, and the other market is mostly real, physical, touchable silver. And right now, those two worlds are telling two very different stories. Metal charts +2. This is where things get dangerous. Because for years, the entire global financial system has trusted COMEX as the price of silver. Jewelers use it, investors use it, mining companies use it to plan their entire business. Even central banks pay attention to it. But if COMEX is mostly paper, and paper can be created in almost unlimited amounts by traders making bets, then COMEX's price can be pushed around without a single extra ounce of real silver ever being mined or sold. Meanwhile, in Shanghai, you cannot fake physical delivery. If buyers want real silver and there isn't enough real silver to give them, the price has to rise. There's no other option. It's like a buffet where one restaurant lets you order as many promise tickets for food as you want, even if the kitchen is empty, while the restaurant next door only serves what's actually cooked and sitting in front of you. Which one do you think tells you the truth about how much food is actually left? And nobody talks about this part enough. China hasn't just been buying silver casually. Chinese importers have been paying premiums of around 12 to 13% above global spot prices just to get their hands on physical metal. And silver inside China has been trading above $90 locally. At the same time, China's silver imports earlier this year hit their highest level in 8 years. Think about what that means. A massive economy full of factories, full of industrial demand for silver and solar panels, electronics, and electric vehicles, is aggressively pulling physical silver out of the global system and paying extra just to make sure they get it. That's not a country playing games. That's a country securing a resource it clearly believes it's going to need badly. And while that's happening on one side of the world, on the other side, COMEX inventories, the actual physical silver sitting in American vaults, have been quietly shrinking. National gold group, national gold group. But here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud on the news. COMEX registered silver inventories in the United States have fallen nearly 70% since 2020. 70%. Imagine your local grocery store quietly running down its stock of rice by 70% over a few years, while still pretending on the shelf price tag that supply is totally normal. And it's not just America. London's vaults have lost around 40% of their holdings too, and even Shanghai's own inventories have dropped to their lowest levels in around a decade. 3 of the biggest silver storage centers in the entire world are all draining at the same time. That's not a coincidence. That's a system under real pressure, even if the average person checking prices on their phone has no idea it's happening. Now, let's talk about Sana for a second. A university student who started learning about precious metals because her uncle kept saying, silver is undervalued, buy some before it's too late. She doesn't have huge savings. She put aside a small amount, treating it almost like a backup plan in case things in the economy got worse. She trusted that the price she saw online was simply the price. Fair, accurate, global. She had no idea that the very exchange she was watching might be a paper-based number sitting on top of a shrinking pile of real metal. This is exactly why understanding what's happening right now isn't just for traders in suits sitting in front of 6 monitors. It's for every single person, student, employee, parent, who has even a small amount of money sitting in silver, gold, or anything tied to these markets. So why can't traders just fix this gap? Why doesn't someone simply buy cheap on COMEX and sell expensive in Shanghai, pocket the difference, and force the prices back together like arbitrage is supposed to do? This is where most people get completely shocked because the answer reveals just how broken the system has actually become. Right now, the cost of borrowing silver to do this kind of trade, what's called the lease rate, has jumped to around 8%, while the actual cost of importing silver into China runs anywhere from 13 to 24%, once you account for tariffs, logistics, and restrictions. In plain English, by the time you pay to borrow the silver, ship it, insure it, and get it through Chinese import rules, you've eaten up all your profit and then some. The bridge that's supposed to connect these two prices has basically collapsed. Nobody can cross it anymore without losing money, so the gap doesn't close. It just sits there, wide open, like a wound that won't heal. And every day it stays open, more people start asking dangerous questions about which price is actually real. Invest. This is exactly why most people fail to protect their money in moments like this. They assume the market is one single, unified, trustworthy thing. They think there's one true global price for silver, the same way there's one true price for a liter of milk at their local store. But the truth is messier and far more uncomfortable. There isn't one silver market. There are several loosely connected markets, each shaped by different rules, different players, different levels of physical backing. And right now, those markets are pulling apart from each other instead of moving together. Some industry watchers are even pointing out that current consumption rates mean certain industrial regions only have around 30 to 45 days of accessible silver reserves left before real shortages start hitting actual production lines. 30 to 45 days. That's not a distant theoretical risk. That's almost a deadline. To fix a street. But what happened next is where this story takes a turn that shook even experienced traders. Earlier this year, COMEX silver futures didn't just dip. They crashed by over 31% in a single trading day, the kind of one-day collapse that hadn't been seen since the legendary Hunt Brothers silver crash back in 1980. Headlines exploded everywhere. Big institutions rushed to declare that the silver bubble had finally burst, that prices would now calmly fall back down to normal levels. It looked on the surface like the whole silver story was over, like everyone who believed in silver had just been proven wrong in the cruelest, fastest way possible. But while paper prices on COMEX were collapsing, something very different was happening on the physical side in Asia. Silver premiums in Shanghai actually spiked to over 50% above the crashing COMEX price during that exact same period. Captain Altcoin, Captain Altcoin. Read that again, because it might be the single most important sentence in this entire video. While the paper price was crashing, the real physical price was rising even further above it. That is not what a normal market crash looks like. A real crash, driven by people genuinely losing interest in an asset, should show falling prices everywhere. Paper and physical, COMEX and Shanghai, all moving down together. Instead, one side fell hard, and the other side, the side backed by actual metal and actual hands, surged. That single contrast tells you something massive. The crash wasn't proof that silver had become worthless. It might have been proof that the paper market got disconnected from physical reality, possibly through heavy selling pressure, forced liquidations, or exchanges defending their own positions, while the real-world hunger for actual silver never went away at all. And this is exactly why most people lose money in moments like this. They panic based on the wrong price. They see a 31% crash on the screen they're watching, assume the whole story is silver is dead, sell everything they have at the worst possible moment, and walk away, convinced they made a smart, rational decision. On the other side of the planet, factories, jewelers, and institutional buyers were fighting to get their hands on the exact same metal at prices 50% higher. Imagine selling your house in a panic because one biased neighbor told you it's worthless, while 3 other serious buyers are quietly trying to outbid each other for it behind your back. That's essentially what was happening to everyday silver investors who only trusted one number on one screen. Most people never realize this next part either. Exchanges themselves have tools to manage moments like this, and those tools aren't always about protecting you, the small investor. When prices move violently, exchanges can raise margin requirements, basically forcing traders to put up much more money to hold their existing positions. During this exact period of extreme divergence, margin hikes were already being used as a tool to try to calm the wild volatility happening on COMEX. On paper, that sounds responsible, like a safety measure. But for an ordinary trader who doesn't have deep pockets, a sudden margin hike can force them to sell at the worst possible moment, just to avoid losing everything, even if they actually believed in their original position. It's like a landlord suddenly tripling your rent in the middle of the night and telling you that you have 1 hour to pay it or get out. Technically allowed, but devastating if you're not prepared. Invest to. So where does this leave someone like Hamza or Sana, or honestly you, watching this video right now, wondering what any of this actually means for your own money? Here's the deeper lesson hiding underneath all of this drama, fear, and confusing exchange names. When 2 major markets quoting the same physical asset start disagreeing this dramatically, it usually means one of 2 things is happening. Either the paper market has become disconnected from real-world supply and demand, inflated or deflated by speculation, leverage, and trading games that have very little to do with actual silver sitting in vaults, or the physical market is revealing a genuine scarcity that the paper market has been hiding, papering over, quite literally, with promises instead of metal. Several analysts now believe this isn't a temporary blip at all. They describe it as the early stage of a structural shift, where physical delivery markets could eventually take over as the real benchmark for global silver prices, the same painful transition that already happened in other resource markets like lithium and rare earths when shortages became undeniable. FX is street. This is where everything changes for how you should think about money itself, not just silver. Most people are taught to trust the price blindly, as if it's some objective, unquestionable truth handed down from above. But prices are made by markets, and markets are made by people, rules, leverage, and sometimes desperation. When you understand that a price can be one thing on paper and something completely different in physical reality, you start asking smarter questions about everything you own, your savings, your investments, even the currency sitting in your bank account. You start realizing that stability can sometimes just be an illusion, sitting on top of cracks that haven't fully shown themselves yet. And here's the part that should create real urgency in your mind. Not panic, but genuine urgency. Around the same period, COMEX open interest, basically the number of active contracts traders are holding, started rising in a way some analysts flagged as unusual, suggesting that more traders holding long positions were becoming less willing to wait around and more interested in actually taking possession of physical metal rather than just rolling their paper contracts forward. Translate that into simple human language. More and more. People stopped trusting the paper promise and started demanding the real thing. When enough people in any market simultaneously decide they don't trust paper promises anymore and want the real asset in their hands, that pressure doesn't just disappear quietly. It builds and builds until something eventually has to give. Seeking alpha. Think about what happens to a bank if every single customer shows up on the same day demanding their actual cash instead of trusting the numbers on their banking app. The bank doesn't actually have all that physical cash sitting in a vault. It never does. That's not how banking works. That's called a bank run. And it's one of the most feared events in all of finance because it exposes the gap between the promise and the reality, all at once, in public, with nowhere left to hide. Some analysts now believe the silver market could be inching toward its own version of that exact same dynamic. A slow-motion run on physical metal, hidden behind confusing exchange names and technical jargon that keeps most regular people from realizing what's actually unfolding right in front of them. But I want to be completely honest with you here, because that's the only way this channel earns your trust. This isn't a guaranteed, can't lose, get rich overnight story, and anyone who tells you that is lying to you. Markets are unpredictable. Governments can intervene. Exchanges can change their rules overnight if pressure gets too intense. Chinese capital controls already limit how freely money and metal can move across borders, which means this gap could persist for a long time, or it could close suddenly and violently in either direction. Prices could still fall further before any of this plays out. Nobody, not me, not the biggest hedge fund on Wall Street, not the smartest analyst in Shanghai, can promise you exactly what happens next. This video isn't financial advice, and you should always think for yourself, do your own research, and never put money into anything you can't afford to lose or don't fully understand. Discovery alert. But here's what I do know and what I think is genuinely impossible to ignore once you've seen it clearly. For decades, most people never had a real reason to question whether the price they saw was the whole truth. They just trusted the number on the screen and moved on with their lives. That comfortable, simple trust is exactly what's being challenged right now. In real time, in one of the oldest, most trusted markets in human history. And once you see a crack like this clearly, once you understand that COMEX and Shanghai can show you two completely different realities for the exact same physical metal, you can never fully go back to blind trust again. You start watching, questioning, learning instead of just assuming. So here's the real question this entire story leaves you with, the one you need to sit with honestly instead of scrolling away from. Are you someone who keeps trusting a single number on a single screen because it's comfortable and familiar, even after seeing proof that the number might not be telling you the whole story? Or are you someone who starts paying closer attention, who starts understanding how money, markets, and metals actually work underneath the surface, so that when the next crack appears, and there will always be a next one, you're not the last person to find out? Hamza and Sana don't know yet which path they're going to take, but you, sitting here right now, having just learned all of this, you get to choose differently, starting today. If you learned something new today, make sure to subscribe to Money Insights and like this video. More powerful financial truths are coming next.